Welcome to a 1v1 on Crossing in the Woods. This game is going to be ThenThereWas1 versus Gurkenkaiser. I'm going to see Oster versus Soviets this game. Shock rifle from Soviets. Oster in the north has Jaeger, armored lightning war, and elite troops. More of a 2v2 loadout, I think. Like Jaeger armor in particular is very unusual to see in 1v1s, but it's plausible, especially on this map. If there's a map on which the elephant's good, it's probably Minsk Pocket. Crossing in the Woods is another contender. Decent chance of that being okay. Lightning War is probably going to be the pick, though. If I had to guess, maybe Tiger Ace, but I'd be somewhat surprised. Grenadiers engaging over here on the cutoff. Soviets taking the entire left. Grenadiers are taking pretty much the entire right. MG42 needs to move up to assist, though. These two squads need to keep active, keep moving. He's paying attention to this engagement over here to see if it was going in his favor, I think. But it's important to shift-click Q capping orders, if possible. Moving the MG back to his side of the river to protect the victory point from the look of things. It's very hard to cut off the Soviets after taking your half of the map, which is why it can be better to take your left half of the map first and then attack through the center towards this cutoff. But they've both done the opposite of that, so neither of them has any real threat of being cut off here. The map's pretty much split in half, and the Soviets taken more, just with better earlier capping power / capping order. What is this maneuver? Maybe he just hasn't played on this map that frequently, doesn't exactly know the placement of the base defenses, but he just hoorah'd straight into that base bunker and will be forced to retreat. And there's a Maxim straight to the Oster base by the cutoff here. MG42 is doubled back to try and push that away. Gurkenkaiser will be in a pretty strong position if he just takes 2 more strategic points and a victory point. He won't have to extend much harder than that. So if he can just get these 2 strategic points under control, or these two would probably be better. And then a VP, they'll be in a very strong position. Try and survive on that until later in the game. With shock rifle chosen. I wonder if ThenThereWas1 has been watching the tournament at all, because this is exactly what Captain Price does. This is his exact build order. 3 cons, Maxim, flamethrowers. If he gets 3 more flamethrowers, I'll be pretty convinced that he's trying to emulate Captain Price's build, which is a great build. On this map, I don't think it's that great, but it's still pretty good. Doesn't look like it, though. He also just lost his flamethrower. Almost lost 2 full squads. Over here on the right side, a bunker's going up, and an S-mine field. I don't know if I agree with that bunker placement. That's pretty easy to flank. In fact, you can capture this point just by standing out of its line of sight, because it won't have a line because of the building if you stand in the bottom left corner. You could have put it a little bit closer. It's pretty easy to just walk around the south end behind this building and then blow that up with a satchel charge or whatever. But a frontal assault will be impossible with this minefield here. And it may prove difficult to destroy that with an AT gun because of elevation, so putting it way back there in the corner does make it difficult to spot and destroy with an anti-tank weapon, so that's one advantage of that placement. These 2 grenadiers are making their way towards the center to take control of the victory point munitions and victory point over here.
We have been granted access to superior arms and soldiers.
Walks into the S-mine field. Oh man, that was almost a wipe. Got a little bit lucky on the spread of those S-mines. A little bit lucky right there. He has spotted the bunker, so he knows about it now. Cut off over here. He's actually still connected because the strategic point and the victory point are connected. So he still gets the 10 munitions and 6 fuel from those 2 strategic points. And Gurkenkaiser is not connected to the munitions over here, so he hasn't really accomplished much of anything by taking these points first. He should have just grabbed the strategic points next to his base. The right side will remain completely in his control, though, thanks to that bunker. But he definitely needs to try and get that victory point back because he's about to be triple capped, and he's already almost 100 points behind. Once that triple cap gets going, it's going to make things pretty tough. Rifle grenade. No dodge. Oh, it was at the shock troops, though. I thought it was at that clumped conscript squad. So, does no damage. MG42 won't accomplish much by itself, and he's going to make sure to support that with these infantry. He's waiting, though, to get a medic upgrade, I think. That's going to take some time, though. He's going to just kind of be sitting in his base for a while he waits for healing, and he's throwing up a tier 2 structure next. So, trying to take 1 point with this MG while he waits for healing there in his base. Medic bunker is in progress. He's going to continue waiting. Molotov on the MG will force that to retreat back. A couple squads working the cutoff again. So Grenadiers have all been fully healed and are going to blob all the way back left. All Soviet forces also focusing completely on this area. So it doesn't really have a solution to this structure yet. He has gone tier 2 into shocks. No field gun yet. Instead going straight to tier 3. If he gets a T-70 or a T-34, he'll have no problem clearing out that bunker, so that'll be a perfectly reasonable solution to that, and it'll also help him, of course, against these infantry. Rifle grenade on the Maxim.
Infantry can march double time at your command.
Wow, that volley. 3 conscripts instantly died. Molotov is not really on target. Catches a couple Grens in the back, but it's no big deal. But again, he has failed to stop the triple cap for several minutes, and just look how fast they take when you don't hold 1 victory point at least. He's now about 200 victory points behind as he moves to take control of the left side, doubling up on Grenadiers in this green cover position to try and hold this line while he backcaps with 1 squad of Grens. He really needs to move that machine gun up to support, or he's just going to get blobbed back to his half of the river by rushing Molotovs or shock troops or whatever. Field infirmary has been researched. All 3 upgrades, in fact, have been researched, so that's a bit of manpower spent. And T-70 is in production. Pyo's moving to try and get the right side VP. A little bit late on that harassment. He could have done that ages ago. And it just gets more and more dangerous to do this, by the way, the longer the game goes. Now that a T-70 is on the field, lone squad harassment is suicide. Fortunately, the T-70 is going to go left instead of right for now. Try and push away these Grenadiers. Rifle grenade impacting those conscripts. Don't take that much damage. Grenadiers going to retreat. MG42 moving back here to grab the strategic point. Pio is working on the right side strategic point as well. Oh, sorry. Terisis. Link my email in chat. You can also PM me or whatever.
Enemy forces are securing our
Couple squads reinforcing here in the base. And MG42 working the left side fuel. These 2 squads taking control of the victory point. And Pios are going to go try and grab the center now. T-70 is not really being very aggressive. I'm not sure it's even revealed itself yet. But he could try and wipe that. That's a pretty easy steal. He could steal that machine gun so easily with that T-70 if he could just get in there with that T-70 before it's forced to retreat by this flank. I don't know why he even fielded this thing if he's not going to use it. Here comes the Molotov. There's the retreat. T-70 is too late to make it there in time to wipe and steal. Although the thought appears to have crossed his mind. Pio's moved to take control of the center VP. We'll have it under their control soon, and this giant blob is making its way left. AT gun is available to counter. If that gets hit by a Panzerfaust, it's pretty much guaranteed dead. And there it is. AT gunshot connects. T-70 is totally screwed. I don't even know what he was thinking with this. Oh god, and it's abandoned. That's not good. That's probably GG, honestly. You can't just hand a T-70 over to your opponent. As long as he utilizes that well. He needs to pull it back to safety and get it repaired. It's almost like getting a free Ostwind as Oster. It's probably one of the worst possible things that could happen. Rushing a T-70 and then immediately handing it to your opponent before it kills anything.
Our position is under attack!
How can we help? Back here.
Rifle grenade connects with those shock troops. They are forced to retreat. T-70 has not received any repairs. It's going to be destroyed by an AT grenade because he neglected to repair that or pull it back to safety. Or it will kill the conscripts on the approach. Maybe that was actually an elaborately executed bait, intentionally leaving it at 1 health so that conscripts will suicide themselves into it. No, he really does need to repair that though. The entire right side is completely under his control. It's not been harassed at all for the last several minutes. Field gun making its way left. Shock troops need repairs. G43 grenadiers will get pushed away here by the flamethrower. And conscripts. Shock troops getting reinforced, and these forces making their way back to the left side. MG making its way to support against these infantry. The AT gun is available way in the back. Still no repairs on that T-70, which actually could repair itself, although it's extremely expensive to do so. And Gurkenkaiser is floating like crazy. He shouldn't necessarily... Well, yes he should. He already has. I was about to say he shouldn't necessarily tech up, then I realized that this is after building Tier 3, so yes, teching up definitely made sense in his situation. He's had total domination of the map this game. But he definitely needs to spend his manpower. A cache on the cutoff, or on this point, generally pays off because Soviets struggle to aggressively push and destroy a cache on these points. Against Americans, probably either way, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to lose that cache. That's a pretty good spot. It's extremely unlikely you'll lose this one.
A squad of pioneers has arrived. You guys, listen to me if you want to live. It's down!
Center VP needs to be harassed. Left side VP being taken by these grenadiers. Conscripts falling extremely low with no cover against LMGs and G43 fire. Shock troops may be able to do a little damage. Tossing the grenade now. Without smoke, that MG42 is just going to force the retreat though. And there's a Panzer IV on the field. And there's a T-34 on the field, so despite going shock rifle, he's gone T-70 into T-34, which is a pretty bold move. He's pretty much not going to be able to make an IS-2 at all this game, in all likelihood. AT gun is available. There's also a field gun available, so neither tank should be able to have overly dramatic of an impact.
Ready for action.
A lot of squads reinforcing here in the base. As predicted, neither tank really overcommits to an engagement with protection from AT guns across the river. It's too dangerous to dive. They both pull back with about half health. No harassment attempt for the center VP. He really needs to get that under his control. That demo charge placement is awful. I cannot possibly imagine a squad standing right there. I can imagine one of his own squads standing right there. I certainly don't anticipate a squad of Gurkenkaiser standing right there. Even if he caps the point manually, on a tactical map, for example, and executes a capture order instead of a move order, I'm pretty sure he would not be killed by that placement. I could be wrong, I don't know.
You need something? Enemy contact! Was ist los?
Panzer Grenadiers working on the left side. Fuel should win that engagement against those conscripts, assuming a Molotov doesn't turn the engagement. T-70 protecting against harassment of the right side for now. I'm pretty sure it's exposed by the fog of war, though. Maybe not. If he sees this, I don't know why he would walk into it with shock troops. So, interesting decision. Shock troops, please retreat now. He's clearly noticed the engagement because it just issued them a soft retreat order. But, there's the hard retreat. Okay, it loses 4 shock troops to a T-70 for no reason. Maxim will follow suit. T-34 moving to counter over here on the right side. That T-34 should be able to kill that T-70 as long as it chases aggressively. But it doesn't look like he's going to. Trying to manage an engagement over here for the left side victory point as well. And the center point will fall into the control of those grenadiers right there. T-34 fires on the T-70. T-70's gonna die. Takes 2 shots from a T-34 to destroy that, and there it goes.
We have lost a Panzer.
Panzer IV exposes itself to field gunfire. Should definitely get that out of the arc of fire of the field gun. He's moving up on the flank with these Panzer Grenadiers, probably going to try and finish it with a bundle grenade. But 1 shot from the T-34 on this rear armor and it's probably going to go down. Or just a shot from the field gun at range. The bundle grenade was not sufficient to clear it out. T-34 pulling out of the arc of fire of that AT gun, but Panzer Schrecks on the flank put it in a lot of danger. It needs to try and go this way. Even that way probably wouldn't kill it. And it's dead.
AT support ready to take out enemy armor.
Panzer Schrecks on the flank, cleared the field gun, destroyed the T-34. Pretty good flanking maneuver with that squad. Gets a lot done. It's probably the game. I don't really see how the Soviet player can recover from a situation in which he has no map control. He's lost way too many units and all of his armor. G43 should win this engagement against the Shocks easily enough. In this situation, you should probably focus fire the flamethrower because they'll die a lot faster. And a flamethrower does a lot of damage at medium range. That's pretty much always the first thing to try and focus fire. Although shock troops are probably more threatening than the flamethrower is, but they're also really hard to kill. So it's, I don't know, it's a trade-off. As long as you focus fire one of them, I think the flamethrower probably makes the most sense. But it's kind of a gamble because it actually makes more sense to focus down the shocks if the flamethrower gets no crits. If the flamethrower gets a bunch of crits, then you should have focused down the flamethrower. So you're kind of gambling when you focus down the shock troops instead. A lot of vital units from Gurkenkaiser this game. He could have really sealed the deal on this one easily if he had just kept his units active and moving and harassing different angles of the map at all times. The Soviet opponent definitely had pretty awful unit preservation. I would say that their tank micro and usage was pretty on par with each other, but that T-70, the initial T-70 just performed horribly, just sat in the middle of a grenadier blob and in front of an AT gun. Got abandoned, that was pretty much his own fault. So, lots of areas for improvement from both these players, for sure.
We have lost the squad.
And there it is, GG. Axis wins.